Dahlia is the instigator behind nearly all of the events in the Silent Hill series. She is the reason the Otherworld exists, the reason Alessa was impregnated with God, the reason Walter went on his killing spree. She is behind nearly all of the dark happenings of the series, with the intent of serving her religion and her God. Like most villains, she doesn't see herself as villainous. It could even be argued she believes she is doing what's best. She says as much to her daughter before burning the child alive. Allowing such a thing to happen to a 7-year-old, let alone her own child, and not being completely devastated by it, in fact, being happy, says a lot about Dahlia's deranged mental state. But it fits with her religious view. The cult sees the world as imperfect. They see pain and suffering as a way to become better, closer to God, and they want to destroy this world to bring paradise, which can only happen through death. By the tenets of her faith, Dahlia is doing exactly what she needs to save her daughter's soul and the world. She is depicted as a religious figure. 2 of the fully animated scenes with her show her in holy places, the Balkan Church, and an unknown temple in the intro, which gives the impression of being a Greek location honoring an Olympian god. The occult is heavily associated with her. She knows a great deal about tarot, telling Harry he is walking the hermit's path. She references gyromancy, implying she uses divination to tell the future. Gyromancy is a form of divination that uses dizziness as a way to connect to the divine. The diviner creates a circle with letters along the outside and spins inside the circle. Once dizziness causes them to stumble, the letters they step on form words. The divining ends when the letters spell out coherent words or when the fortune teller faints. This is probably one reason why Dahlia is seen barefoot. For one, mystic characters are often seen without shoes as a way to differentiate them from the norm, a way to associate them with the earth and the wilderness, as being closer to nature. It's no mistake that this is a form of divining that uses circles, given the importance of circles to the cult. I wonder if perhaps Dahlia used the halo of the sun in her fortune-telling. Her outfit also resembles a diviner or occult magician. She wears long flowing robes with many layers and a shawl over her hair. What stands out is the odd necktie around her neck, a piece that draws attention and makes her appear more outlandish and weird than she already does. Running around barefoot, wearing a tie with a dress, with wild, heavy eyes, she comes across as a wild woman, the crazy old crone who says ridiculous, nonsensical things. Of course, by the end of the game, we learn she's a lot more intelligent than she seems, still deranged, but very much in control of her faculties. She manipulates Harry throughout the game, playing the crazy in order to keep him from guessing at her motives. Dahlia owns an antique store in Silent Hill called the Green Lion. Antiques would be a good cover for her position. Anything she might need for the cult that might be suspicious, say an ancient torture device or old magic tome, could be excused as an antique for her store. There's a small shrine in the back of the store, implying she performed rituals here, perhaps using some of the items she received from guests. The store's name is a reference to an alchemical concept, the green lion eating the sun. It's a symbol that appears in a great deal of alchemy lore. It represents a material called green vitriol, which is used to purify other materials. It's an acid, and it eats through anything except for gold. The green lion eating the sun represented the process of destroying materials to reveal possible gold within. It's the perfect name for Dahlia's store. Her faith believes this world is basically worthless, but that a good life in paradise will come only once the world has been transformed. Transforming the world is the green lion, an acid that destroys everything, leaving only gold behind. To them, it would be the perfect metaphor for creating paradise. When we first meet Dahlia, Harry finds her in the Balkan church. The ringing of the bell is what calls him there. In olden times, ringing a bell was a sign that someone in the area had passed away. It was a mourning call, and it was thought to chase away evil spirits. Bells have long been used to summon people to church, and it works for Harry. Dahlia is a person who knows a lot about the occult and about other faiths. She chooses to meet Harry in the Christian church, possibly hoping to associate herself with it instead of her own faith to throw him off. She also calls the seal of Metatron, the marks Alessa uses to try and stop the birth of God, the seal of Samael. Samael is one of the many names associated with the Abrahamic religious concept of Satan or Lucifer. It's often attributed to being his angelic name before he fell from grace. She uses this name to refer to the mark because it associates them with evil, hopefully tricking Harry into thinking they are evil, which furthers Dahlia's goals. While these goals are abhorrent and nefarious, Dahlia sees this as the way the world will be saved. It's even possible she loves her daughter, despite torturing her for years. To the cult, pain is salvation. In the hospital room, there's a chair and a picture of Alessa sitting next to her bed. It's possible Dahlia sat in this room with her daughter, with a framed photograph reminding her of the past. It's hard to imagine why the picture would be there otherwise. Alessa seemed to have loved her mother too, until she suffered so terribly at her hands. No matter the outcome of the end game, whether Incubus or Incubator is the boss, Dahlia dies, ironically, by being set on fire, the same way Alessa was. It's also possible that Dahlia returns later on in the series. In Silent Hill 3, there's a spirit in a confession booth who speaks to Heather. The most likely person it could be is Dahlia. The woman speaks of being damned, of terrible deeds she's done. She mentions a murdered daughter and the soul of the girl whose life I've taken. She says she is willing to burn in the flames of redemption to see her daughter again, referencing the fires which tormented both Alessa and killed Dahlia. It's entirely possible that Dahlia was the spirit in that booth, looking for forgiveness from the reincarnation of the child she wronged. What's interesting is, if you forgive the spirit, it actually adds to the totals towards the bad ending, because it implies that Heather sees herself as God.